This is no ordinary walk in the woods here in New London. We're looking for something very specific, but tough to spot.
The smaller antlers you don't normally see unless you're really looking. So a lot of times I'll get down like this so I can see underneath the cover and everything.
Rob Richardson runs something called Richardson's Whitetail Services. He knows deer.
This is late winter feeding. They're eating the hemlock bark.
He is part of a fast-growing hobby known as shed hunting. In fact, he and his wife Diane head up the social media group New Hampshire Shed Hunters Club.
Shed hunting is looking for the cast antlers of either moose or deer. What we do is we go around and try to find those dropped antlers in the woods.
Each season, male deer and moose grow a new set of antlers and then shed them, typically in the winter months, like this moose in Alaska. Some people love finding those so-called sheds, which are often buried in snow or under trees.
How easy is it to find one of these things out in the woods?
Not easy. It's a virtual needle in a haystack.
Rob's been shed hunting since he was a kid and has collected hundreds here in his Springfield home.
That's one of my heaviest ones.
That weighs quite a bit.
Yeah.
While he gives away many of these antlers, other shed hunters sell them for dog chew toys or to crafters.
Some people cut them up and sell them or do crafts with them and make lamps, chandeliers, sell them for decoration.
Since the pandemic, shed hunting has exploded in popularity. In fact, serious hunters now use game cameras to track bucks and keep popular deer locations a well-guarded secret.
There's guys out there who will, and myself included, who will change vehicles or be dropped off so nobody knows you're there.
Long before it was popular, Mike Guillemette of Hooksett was one of the first people out looking for shed antlers.
Started in 1979, 1980, and it took me 10 years before I found my first one, a 3-point, which is funny is because it's in this neighborhood by accident.
Despite that long wait, Mike was hooked on the rush. Before he knew it, he spent whole weekends in the woods of New Hampshire searching. Sometimes it's successful.
Holy mackerel, look at that. Oh my God, that is huge.
Most times, though, it's a bust.
Before you know it, the day is done, you got to come back down, and you've just did 10 or 12 hours and you felt like you didn't have enough time. That's how it is.
Do you have any idea how many you found?
I think the most I've ever had was probably close to 200, which is that's small compared to the guys that I look up to. I think it's a great way to get out in the woods and do something a little different. It's like an Easter egg hunt, but a lot harder.
New Hampshire Fish and Game does have some recommendations for shed hunting. Don't trespass on posted land. And don't disturb the wildlife, which can mean delaying shed hunting until the deer have moved out of their wintering areas. And there are concerns removing sheds from the woods can hurt wildlife who use them as a food source. But Rob believes the human impact is minimal.
There's probably 100,000 antlers out there on a yearly basis that probably of that, 90,000 of them never get found.
Meantime, back on our shed hunt in New London.
To get to that place you wanted, we got to go that way.
I'm learning that antlers and dead tree limbs look very similar. One trick of the trade.
Set of binoculars.
And why do we need those?
Well, it keeps you from having to walk a long ways. Okay. So if you see something that looks like a shed down there, you can go like this and identify that it's just a stick.
Experienced shed hunters like Rob
See this, guys?
look for signs of buck activity, like deer scat or tree rubs, where a male deer tried to rub off his heavy antlers. After about 45 minutes, Rob did find something in the leaves. It's an old dump site with vintage pottery and glassware.
You don't always find sheds, but you always find treasures while you're out here, without a doubt.
So far, we have not found any sheds. But we did find these right here, so we are going home with something in hand. This hobby is about patience and often luck. This location didn't seem to have any signs of male deer or moose.
At this point in time, I'm crossing it off the list.
But guys like Rob and Mike will be back out, spending hours, days, even months for that euphoria of finding a shed.
What a rush. What a rush to see something like this or one of these moose antlers. You run over to it, you know. Sometimes I let out a yell and there's nobody around.
Unbelievable. Got the other side.
When you see it and you realize it's an antler, it's a pretty darn good feeling. It's almost like finding that pot of gold, you know, at the end of the rainbow.